They silenced him. A man who dared to speak truth to power, who sat before a national commission and pointed a finger at the heart of a poisoned system, has been gunned down in the dark. This is not just a murder, it is a message, delivered in bullets, to every single South African who believes in justice. The message is clear: speak, and you will be erased. Testify, and you will be terminated. The assassination of Witness D is not a crime in a vacuum, it is an execution on the steps of the courthouse, a blatant declaration that the guardians of the law have become its ultimate assassins. Let that sink in. A crucial witness before the Madlanga Commission, a man who gave damning evidence just weeks ago, is now dead, shot outside his own home, in a planned, clinical hit. He had named names. He had spoken of orders from a brigadier, instructions to make a body disappear, a culture of fear so thick you could choke on it. And now, his voice has been permanently, violently cancelled. What does that tell you about the power of the truth he spoke? What does it say about the forces he implicated that they believed this was the only way to silence his testimony? They waited for him. The gunman knew his movements, knew when he would arrive, knew where to stand. This was not a random act of violence, this was a professional contract killing, a surgical strike against the commission itself. Nothing was stolen. This was not a hijacking, not a robbery. This was a mission with one objective: to send Witness D into the grave and his evidence into oblivion. But they have made a catastrophic error. They have turned one man's testimony into a national scream. His blood now speaks louder than his words ever could. Who was he? Publicly, he was Witness D, a shield of anonymity that proved to be made of paper. But in that commission room, he was courage personified. He sat there and told Justice Madlanga that Brigadier Julius Mzansi ordered him to dispose of a body. He spoke of obeying out of sheer terror for his own life. He painted a picture of the police service not as protectors, but as a criminal syndicate wearing uniforms, where the wrong word could get you killed. And now, in the most horrific way possible, he has been proven right. His very murder is the chilling evidence that validates everything he said. So the question tonight is not who killed Witness D. The question is, who gave the order? Who felt so threatened by his truth that they mobilized hitmen? Who has the resources, the intelligence, and the absolute depravity to order a hit on a state witness? The list is short, and it points directly to the shadows behind the badges he implicated. This is a war, people. A war for the soul of South Africa's justice system, and the first casualty lying in the morgue is a man who simply told the truth. The South African Police Service has launched a high-level investigation. They promise specialized units, ballistic analysis, a manhunt. But how can you trust the very institution that is under the microscope to investigate its own potential crime? The suspects they hunt may be wearing the same uniform as the investigators. This is like asking the fox to guard the henhouse after a poultry massacre. Where do you place your faith when the pillars of justice are crumbling from within? And what of the other witnesses? Right now, there are men and women sitting in their homes, trembling, who have given or are about to give evidence to the Madlanga Commission. They heard about Witness D. They saw the news. What do you think is going through their minds tonight? Would you come forward? Would you risk your life, and the lives of your family, for a concept of justice that seems incapable of protecting its own? The deterrent effect of this murder is its entire purpose. It is designed to freeze truth in its tracks. Civil society is outraged. Anti-corruption groups are condemning it. The legal experts are warning of a chilling effect. But outrage is not enough. Condemnation is worthless without consequences. We have become a nation of press statements and hashtags, while the killers operate with impunity. When was the last time a high-profile whistleblower's assassin was actually brought to book? How many unsolved murders of activists, witnesses, and journalists does it take before we admit the system is not just broken, it's complicit? Justice Mbazili Madlanga must be feeling the weight of the world tonight. His commission is now a battlefield. His witnesses are now targets. Will he demand independent, international investigators? Or will this be left to the SAPS, to investigate the possible crimes of its own senior leadership? The integrity of the entire commission now hangs in the balance. If it proceeds without ironclad, external protection for witnesses, it becomes a death sentence for anyone who speaks. Let's talk about the order Witness D revealed. The order to dispose of a body. Whose body? What suspect died, and under what circumstances? Was it a death in custody? Was it torture? Was it murder? The act of hiding a body suggests a crime so heinous they needed to erase the very evidence of its victim. And the brigadier who allegedly gave that order is still out there, still in his position, still wearing his rank, while the man who exposed him is in a coffin. What does that tell you about where the real power lies? The gun. What was it? A police-issue firearm? A weapon from a private security firm? The ballistics will tell a story, but only if they are analyzed by someone who cannot be leaned on, who cannot be threatened. That report must be public. Every detail must be exposed to the harsh light of day. But will it be? Or will the findings be delayed, obfuscated, lost in a fog of bureaucratic jargon until the public's anger fades? This killing is an attack on every single citizen. It is an attack on your right to know the truth about the people who are meant to serve and protect you. If they can kill a witness with such brazenness, what do you think they are capable of doing to an ordinary person who crosses their path? The line between state protection and state-sponsored terror has just been vaporized. When you dial 10,111 tonight, who exactly are you calling? Think of his family. Think of the trauma, the utter devastation. They now live with the knowledge that their loved one was murdered for doing his civic duty. What compensation can the state possibly offer? What apology could ever suffice? Their loss is our national shame. And it is a warning written in blood to every family of every future whistleblower. This could be you. The timing is too precise, too calculated. Weeks after his testimony, not immediately, when security might have been high, but after a little time had passed, when vigilance might have dipped. This shows planning, patience, and intelligence. This shows someone was watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. This is the work of professionals, not panicked criminals. Who has access to that level of criminal professionalism? We must ask the uncomfortable question, how many more are there? How many other witnesses, A through C, E through Z, are now looking over their shoulders, measuring the distance to their cars, sleeping with one eye open? The commission witness list is supposed to be confidential, but how confidential is it really? If one name could be found, how many others have already been identified by the very people they are testifying against? The Opera News article reports the facts, but the subtext is screaming. A witness is dead. The commission is under siege. The police are investigating themselves. This is the blueprint for a failed state. This is how democracies die, not with a coup, but with a series of calculated murders that kill the truth first. Share this video. Share it, because if we don't scream about this now, our silence becomes our complicity. I want you to imagine something. Imagine you witnessed corruption. You saw a senior official take a bribe, or you saw police officers plant evidence. You have the chance to testify. You think of your children, your spouse, your parents. You've just watched this video. Tell me honestly in the comments, would you come forward? What would it take for you to feel safe enough to speak? The international community is watching. They see the investment summits, the beautiful landscapes, the vibrant culture. But do they see this? The murder of justice in broad daylight? Will there be travel advisories about the dangers of telling the truth in South Africa? Our global reputation is not just about tourism, it's about being a nation of laws. Tonight, we are failing that test catastrophically. Let's talk about Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi. Where is he? What has he said? Has he been suspended? Arrested? Or is he sitting in his office, drinking coffee, while the man who accused him is being prepared for burial? The inaction speaks volumes. The lack of immediate, decisive action against the person implicated is a signal of where the loyalties lie. It is a signal that is as clear as a gunshot. This commission was meant to be a cleansing fire, a way to burn out the rot in the saps. But instead, the rot is fighting back with bullets. The commission must not adjourn in fear. It must double down. It must reconvene tomorrow, and its first order of business must be to hear a statement on the murder of witness D. It must be a public, televised condemnation that shakes the foundations of union buildings. But will it? Or will there be a moment of silence, a brief expression of regret, and then a return to business as usual? The script is familiar. We've seen it before. The outrage cycle, murder, news coverage, protests, promises, and then, nothing. Until the next murder. How do we break this cycle? Is it even possible anymore? The weapon of fear is powerful, but the weapon of collective memory is eternal. We must not let Witness D become just another name. We must say his name. We must learn his real name when it is safe to do so. We must know his story, not just his death. He was more than a witness, he was a father, a son, a colleague, a man who found himself in an impossible situation and chose, in the end, to do the right thing. And it cost him everything. So what is his legacy? Will it be a footnote in a future report that gathers dust on a shelf? Or will it be the spark that finally ignited an unstoppable demand for true accountability? That is up to us, the viewers, the citizens. We decide whether his death was the end of something, or the beginning. The forensic team will scour the scene. They will lift shell casings, look for CCTV, interview neighbors. But the most important evidence is already known. The motive is lying in the transcript of the Madlanga Commission. The motive is in the testimony that threatened to unravel a web of corruption. The evidence points back to the hearing room itself. And what of the hitmen? They are likely already far away, paid in cash, waiting for their next job. They are tools, mere instruments. The real criminal is the mind that hired them. The real criminal is the person who sits in a position of authority, who swore an oath to uphold the law, and who instead decided to use murder as a legal strategy. This is the crossroads. Right now, do we accept this as the new normal? Do we shrug and say, "That's South Africa," and move on with our lives? Or do we demand, with one voice, that is so loud it cannot be ignored, that an independent, international task force takes over this investigation? The SAPs cannot be trusted with this. The conflict of interest is absolute and poisonous. I want you to think of one person in your life who stands for integrity, a teacher, a community leader, a parent. Now imagine they saw something terrible. Would you advise them to go to the police after watching this? The fact that we even have to hesitate before answering that question is a damning indictment of our entire justice system. The Commission's work is more important than ever, but it is now tainted by blood. To continue with legitimacy, it needs a security detail from outside the SAPs. It needs witness protection managed by an independent agency. It needs a guarantee that the state can protect its citizens from the state itself. Is that even possible? Some will say we are being alarmist. They will say, let the process unfold. But process is what got us here. Process is what allowed a witness to be killed after giving evidence. When the process is lethally flawed, blind faith in it is a death sentence for the truth. We are past the point of trusting the process. We need to change it. The murder of Witness D is a symptom of a disease called impunity. It is the belief that connections and uniforms make you untouchable. It is the belief that the law is for the little people. This disease has metastasized. It has reached the heart, and the treatment is no longer gentle. It requires radical, painful surgery. So what do? We start by refusing to forget. We start by sharing this story, by demanding answers every single day. We flood social media, we write to our MPs, we support the civil society groups on the front lines. We make it politically toxic for anyone to sweep this under the rug. We make Witness DS face the banner of our demand for change. They wanted to send a message of fear. We must send a message back. A message of relentless, unwavering demand for justice. A message that says we see you, we know what you did, and we will not stop until you are held accountable. Our weapon is our attention. Our shield is our collective voice. In the comments, I want you to answer this. What is the one, concrete demand you would make to President Ramaphosa tonight regarding this murder? Not a feeling, not an emotion, a specific, actionable demand. Let's compile a list. Let's show them that we are not just angry, we are precise, we are informed, and we are watching. This video will likely be flagged. It may be called controversial. They may try to suppress it. That is how you know it's hitting the mark. Share it. Download it. Send it to everyone you know. Break the algorithm of silence. Let's make the story of Witness D the story they cannot kill. As the sun sets tonight, a family mourns. A commission trembles. A nation holds its breath. But with the dawn must come a new resolve. The resolve to fight for a country where truth does not come with a death sentence, where a witness is protected, not persecuted, where the uniform is a symbol of hope, not terror. Witness D did his part. He spoke. Now, it is our turn. We must be the echo that his killers could not silence. We must be the justice that he will never see. The story does not end with his death. It begins with our reaction. Let's make it a story worth telling.